Okay, so welcome to week one of our new sequence. As I say each time with week one, just slowing things down a little bit, going back to the basics. And those of you who aren't live, it's extremely hot today, very muggy. So those of us who are doing the class live, you probably need to slow it down anyway. So you may still notice that anyway. Well, we'll start by lying down on our back. And as always, just taking a moment with the soles of the feet together, dropping the knees out to the side, and just beginning to pull the attention into the body. So those of you who've been with me a long time now will obviously have noticed that this first portion of the class is very repetitive. It's always the same. And it's not due to lack of imagination. It's more to do with the fact that getting into a certain frame of mind is helped by triggers. Certain triggers can get you into a certain conscious state. And a good example of this is if you smell something in your childhood, like a perfume or a flower you haven't smelled for a long time, it can immediately trigger a state of mind. And the same with meditation. When we set up meditation, we tend to do it in exactly the same way every time. We try and take maybe the same location, the same position, and then the steps that we work through to get into the meditation tend to be repetitive. And what scientists have shown is that when we're trying to alter our conscious state, it's really good to use habits, really, or triggers that take us into that state. So this first section of class is very deliberately kept exactly the same each week, and that will give us the opportunity to really cultivate this sort of mindset that we're looking for. And after you've been practicing with me a while, you may find that the moment you sort of lie down with the soles of your feet together and begin that conscious breath, your mind gets so much faster because it knows what's coming. It's done it so many times, it knows the state that you are aiming to be in, and it's that much quicker to get into it. So I just wanted to share that with you, and the same with the warm-up, really. The warm-up poses are always the same, and that's because I find that they're the most beneficial postures for this warm-up between muscle groups in the body and larger muscle groups in the body. Also because having that repetition once again is a really good habitual way of getting into the beginning of the class. So this is the physical and mental state that we require. Having said all that, let's try and get there now. So starting at the tips of the toes, beginning to slowly work the attention up through the body, checking in, noticing, observing. And on a day like today, when it's particularly hot and muggy, really notice how that is affecting the body. You may, on the bright side, be a little bit more flexible than usual because the heat of your body is just helping everything release. But on the flip side, there'll probably be fatigue, heaviness perhaps, difficulty breathing in the heat. I certainly find it harder to catch my breath when I'm overheated. So these are things you need to take into account in your practice that you're being more flexible, that you may be more breathless. And also recovery is harder. As you get hot, the body is not only recovering from the poses that you're doing your elevated heart rate, but also recovering from excess heat. So we just need to take those factors into consideration when we're moving through our yoga. Notice the breath now in the body. Notice the breath rise and fall. See if you can start to deepen and lengthen that breath. Using the exhale to release any remaining tension in the body. And then just beginning to move it into your full yoga breath, starting in the belly, moving through the ribs, finishing in the chest, and then exhaling through the chest, move, and belly. Inhaling into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest, exhaling chest, ribs, and just find your own rhythm now. Just find your own breath, as full and deep as you're able to exhale, and as conscious. And then at the end of the next exhale, just release the conscious feeling and allow the body a moment to just feed itself. And then we'll gently hug the knees into the chest and rock on the back and side to side. Taking the arms wide, dropping the knees to the right, turning the head to the left. And then engaging the belly and bringing the knees up and over to the other side. Twisting through the spine and feeling that opening and release. And just taking the chance to deepen that breath again. And then we'll place the feet flat to the floor and crossing the right hand over the left knee and pulling that left knee into the chest. And then straightening the right leg up towards the ceiling and stretching out through the hamstring. And then switching sides, left ankle crosses over the right knee and and then placing that right foot down and extending the left leg up into your hands. And then just take happy baby pose, grabbing the outsides of the feet, dropping the knees into the armpits. And just close the eyes and once again bring the attention back to your mental states. Just noticing if you've managed to calm the mind, quieten the mind through those simple movements that you've done 1,000 times, that you've sort of trained the mind, as I was saying earlier, to shift into that different state. You have it in repetition of that opening section of the class. The only thing you need to be slightly aware of in the situation of having a repetition is that the mind doesn't use it as an excuse to wonder because it knows what's coming. So sometimes the mind can feel bored and through that repetition just be wandering off into other things. So that's where we bring our conscious state into it and we try and stay focused on shifting. So now in your own time, just coming up to sitting. Ladies, can you hear, is it that bad sound that happened a few weeks ago? Yeah, it's my fan, because it's so hot today, the fan's on. Guys, I can't really solve that, so I'm really sorry if you are watching this recording, you've got that really bad audio sound that stops when I talk, but the rest of the time it's there. This will be fixed long term because I'm coming up with a you know, I'm going to get hold of a better camera and stuff once we're in the hall. But apologies for today. Hopefully you'll be able to hear enough of what's going on and try and ignore that background hissing. That's just my fan on my computer. Okay, so we'll come up to sitting. We'll extend the legs out in front. We'll reach forwards and stretch out the back of the legs and the spine. I'll just speak up a little bit. Maybe that will help. And then just softening the breath. And then we'll swing the legs around. We'll come to full-foot kneeling. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow, working at your own pace. Getting as much breath through the body and movement through the spine as you can manage. And then we'll just stretch it out into child's pose and just really bring the fingertips forward so that you're getting a good stretch through the arms, shoulders and spine, resting down, finding the breath. And then tucking the toes under into downward facing dog. So just maybe taking a single-legged dog and opening into the hips. And then looking forward, you're going to lunge the right leg through. Dropping the back knee. Breathing into this. And then lifting up through the right arm, twisting the spine. And then adding in a quadricep stretch. That feels comfortable. And then we'll step it back into downward facing dog, just pedal out the heels for moments. And then lunging the left leg through. That leaves the floor. That's the sink. And then left arm lifts up. And optional grabbing the back foot. We'll step forwards and just take a halfway hanging from the bend. And slowly roll up through the spine. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting and opening the heart, stretching the hands back. And then opening the back, pressing hands forwards. And then quick shake out, lots of drinking in today, I think, not alcoholic type of thing. Keep hydrated. Okay. Nothing too serious to worry about. This is so terrifying coffee in public. Have this coffee room. Every time I leave the house, I've been absolutely terrified to cough because everyone's going to like 1 mile from me. But it's nothing to worry about. It's the cold. Right, in this weather, it seems very unfair. Bring the hands to the heart, closing the eyes, just finding that breath. So just a little reminder about what one is about, putting that intention, just to slow everything down. And sometimes holding poses for long periods can actually be a lot harder than flowing quickly because we're really working on building the strength. So if we're looking at that progression of building strength in the body, and when you take a pose and you hold it for a long period, take it to the edge. So take it to that point where it's just beginning to feel uncomfortable. where it's beginning to feel like it's challenging the muscles, but the muscles can hold you there for very long. You want to hold it at that point, because that's where the body will grow stronger and progress. If you're sort of, holding back in a pose like warrior two, I could probably be here for 15 minutes without feeling too much. But if I'm like this, then it's going to be a lot harder for me to stay in that posture. But I'm going to feel already that things are going to be strengthening. So take yourself in each pose to that edge and then hold it and use your breath to sustain your position. And this is how week 1 and week 2 really begin to help the body grow stronger. So we're going to inhale the arms up. We're going to exhale forward. We're taking the Ashtanga salutations this week. So we're taking the lunges out. Inhale, half lift and flatten the back. Exhale, planting the hands, we're going to step back to plank. A whole plank for a moment and turn into high planks if you wish. You don't have to do that, and you certainly don't have to do it in every single salutation. But for now, just finding that high plank, pressing the mat away, that slight lift through the upper back, lifting the kneecaps, engaging out through the heels, tilting the pelvis, and really sucking up the belly button. Push forward through the toes, let's say knees, chest, chin, or straight into chaturanga, Ashtanga, and then up dog or cobra, and we move straight to downward facing dog. So if you do need to rest at any time, just find the child's pose, but I'm not going to be doing it this month whilst we're doing the Ashtanga. So hanging out in down dog, you can pedal out the feet for this first round, just warming up into the legs, breathing into any tightness there, and just returning to the conscious state that you need for this practice. And then lifting the gaze, we're going to step both feet back between the hands, half lift and inhale. Exhale, forward fold, run the hands down, get nice and deep. And then inhale with a flat back, using your belly, you're going to rise back up to stand. And exhale, let's go again. Inhale, the arms lifting up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Inhale, half lift, lift up. Exhale, step the feet to plank and hold high plank for a moment. And really engage through the core, finding the breath. And then push through the toes, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or cobra. Exhale, other facing dog. So if you still feel very tight in the back of the body, you can continue to pedal out through the legs. Otherwise, finding stillness in our dog. We're going to take 3 slow, ujjayi breaths. Just really drawing that breath and pulling deep into the body. And exhaling through. Couple more breaths, inhaling. And exhaling. One more time. Lifting again, stepping the feet to the front of the mat, inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse one line, up to stand, flat back, full engaged. Exhale, release to knee. Good, we're going to take 2 rounds now, 1 breath through. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping up to plank and lower down, chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, find your back leg and lift. Exhale, down dog. We're going to take 5 breaths here. Just find the steadiness of breath and the strength in the body and that mindful state. Lifting the gaze, step and maybe pop the feet in front of the mat as you lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse one leg to stand. Exhale, Samasthiti. Final one. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step and top plank and low down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, dog. Take 5 breaths in down dog. Stepping or hopping forward. Inhale, lift up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse one dive. Exhale, so continue. So just reset the breath. Check in with your mind, your body. We'll move on to sun sleeping. We'll slow down the first round just so that we can really hold the poses and get strength into them, not really because you need to take it slow, but you just really want to work on the strength. So we're going to start with chair pose, bending the knees. Let's brush the fingertips to the floor. So if you can't reach the floor without bending your spine like this, then you need to just try and get the knees bent. I'm very tight in my knees, so it's quite hard for me to get down without feeling a really strong stretch there. But try and keep the chest lifted, and the knees are what are taking the fingertips to the floor. And then inhale the arms up, but try and keep that depth in the legs. Lifting the gaze, looking up towards your fingertips. Just try and squeeze your shoulder blades down your back into the floor, and then lift the fingertips overhead. Find the breath here. And exhale, fold. Great. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, step or top to plank. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, up, forward, cobra. Exhale, down the facing dog. Then we're going to step the right foot into warrior one. So step it towards the right hand, back your toes down, and we float up to warrior one. So we're going to settle into warrior one for a moment, just squaring shoulders and hips forwards, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Drishti point, if you're wanting to get a little bit more advanced, that's your gaze point, is upwards towards your thumbs. But now see if you can get a little bit deeper into warrior one so that the front thighs begin to really work. Take a couple of breaths there. Good, and then release the hands to the floor and step to plank. Let's hold high plank for a moment and find that engagement. Really lift up through the belly. Feel everything working strong. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Up dog. Cobra. Down the facing dog. Stepping the left foot towards the left hand, back heel swings down, lifting up to warrior one. Again, squaring hips and shoulders forwards. Lunging into the front leg, drawing your shoulder blades down, and option the drishti point to be up to the fingertips. Now make sure that you're really challenging that front thigh and working into the hips. Find the breath. Good. And then release. Stepping back to plank, hold your high plank for a moment. Again, find that lift through the belly and through the upper back. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Up dog for cobra. And down dog for 5 breaths. Or you can take a child's pose here if you wish. And then we're going to meet you down the facing dog if you're not already there. Just take a moment to just check the alignment in your dog. You've got your palms spread and pressing away, your fingers spread and your palms pressing away. Heels pressing into the floor. Kneecaps slightly engaged. Belly flying upwards. Lifting towards the one more breath. And then looking forward, step or hop. The feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. We're coming back to Uttanasana chair pose. Then the knees brush the fingertips down. Inhale, the arms lift up overhead. Exhale, and continue. Good, just take a breath there. I'm going to play 2 more rounds of sun sleeping. Just one breath to move, nice steady with the pace. Good, when you're ready, inhale. Chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop plank, lower down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, up, cobra. Exhale, down, down. Inhale, right leg steps forwards, warrior one. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank and lower. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, down, facing dog, stepping the left foot through. Inhale, warrior one, rising up. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping to plank, lowering down. Inhale, find your back bend. And exhale, dog. 5 breaths in dog. Settle the body, settle the breath. Exhale, looking forward. Inhale, step up the feet to the front of the mat, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, from the CCP. Take a breath. Final round of sun salutations. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop plank, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, dog. Right leg steps through. Inhale, warrior one. Sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step back and lower. On the exhale. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. The left leg stepping through. Inhale, rise the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step back and lower. Inhale, back bend. Down dog. Fine. Good. Stepping or hopping forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Just close the eyes, reset the breath. Reset your mind for a moment. And then shake out the body. Very nice. So moving on to our standing poses, we're going to slow things right down again so that we can hold these poses for long periods. And it's all threaded into a sun salute theme. Okay, so just steady breath again, onto the mat. So we'll start with chair pose. Inhale, coming up to chair pose, but remembering to sink really deep into the hips, feel the weight in the heels, and weight out of the toes, so you can keep lifting the toes here. Put a twist in, hands to the heart, elbow out to the knee, don't really mind it straight go. Press the elbow against the knee to really rotate. Just want to turn your heart towards your palms. So it's when I get them to face each other. Take one more breath. Come back to chair pose. Do it mindfully so that you're really finding that correct position before we take the other side. And then again, find that twist. Rotate the heart towards the palms. Good. And then once again, chair pose. Really sink the weight back into the heels. Float the arms up. I know it's a challenging pose. One more breath here. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop to a high plank. And let's find that core strength again. Flying up through the belly, lifting the kneecaps, pressing the heels away. And then really pushing the mat away from you like there's something there you're kind of away from. And feel that engagement through the lats in the upper back. One more breath. Good. Push through the toes, knees, chest, chin, or chance and end up. And then up dog or cobra. And we will put a little child's pose in here. Just recover your breath before we move through our standing posture. Moving into downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up into the four-legged dog. Just enjoy that hip opening stretch. Pressing the left heel down, strongly into the floor. Keep feeling that right knee up. You can flip your dog if you want to go a bit deeper. And lift through the heart. And find that little back bend. Trying to get your standing leg and left leg as straight as possible. And then we'll come back to single dog. And we just step that right foot through to warrior one. Spinning the back heel down. Rising the arms up, warrior one. So settling back into our warrior one. We've done this pose a couple of times already. Feeling nice and open. Finding those deep breaths, maybe a little deeper than you did last time. Really challenge yourself here. And then we'll open it up to warrior two. So taking a moment to turn the hips and shoulders. Your feet are at 90 degrees, so back foot turning out slightly. And really try and squeeze open your right knee so that it's really tracking over your little toe. And just feel like your right knee is moving this way, but your left hip is moving the other way. So creating a lot of space through the front of your hip here. Now, if your front thigh isn't burning, I want you to drop deeper until you can really feel the work along that front quadricep. Let's take 2 breaths here, really feeling the work in the legs. Good. And then just straightening the front knee, we're going to take triangle pose, running the right hand down the right leg. You can either catch a hold of the leg or maybe you can extend to the floor, taking the left arm directly up. So that lovely side stretch, stay anchored through the back foot. Good. And then bring both hands to the floor. Step the back foot in a little bit. And we'll come to Parsvottanasana. So you'll turn your hips forwards, your hands are either resting on your front leg or on the floor. And you can take a moment with a flat back just to find your breath and extend through the spine. If you've got blocks, you can also use those to try and keep that front leg straight. And then slowly finding the breath, begin to fold over your front leg, taking your head towards your knee. Take a couple more breaths and just see if you can deepen into it even further. So we're getting straight up to standing split from here. So if you can, we're just going to walk the hands forwards and literally pick up the back leg. If you need to pop the back foot in first to give you a bit more lift, you can do so. And then when you find your standing split, begin to really straighten out through the back leg, pointing the back toes, and really, really trying to straighten that back knee as much as you can. Your front knee, if you can straighten it, do so. Maybe you can use blocks to help you find that lengthened front leg. Otherwise, hands resting either on the floor, if you want a more advanced option, catching the ankle. And then see if you can shoot the top leg up a little higher. To make the split here, so you're really lifting that top leg. Taking one more breath here. And then a slow transition to warrior three. You're going to float the arms up and square the hips down as you reach your back leg out behind you. You can take the arms out to the sides or behind you. In front is a bit more advanced. I know that right hip and buttock is coming to make a lot. One more breath. And then coming to stand, but not placing that left foot down yet. Bring it out in front. Option to catch the toe and finding deeper hasta padangusthasana, otherwise holding the knee. Finding the balance. I know this is a long time on one leg. We've still got 2 more breaths. On your pose, you're going to switch hands. So catching either the foot or the knee with the right hand, taking the left hand behind the back, and twisting the shoulders round as much as you can. If you're stable, you can take your head to look behind you. 3 more breaths. 2, 1, and slowly release. That's a pillar balance section. Well done, everyone. Shake out that full right leg. Let's balance it out on the other side. Resetting the breath for a moment. Start with chair pose. Bending the knees, inhale, floating the arms up and over the head. Utkatasana. And taking that twist again, elbow outside. Knee option this time to extend the arms away, but try not to lose elbow to knee connection. And deepening your twist from that arm extension. Great, coming back to chair pose, reminding you to reset it properly, not just transition through it. And then switching to the other side, option to extend the arms away. We're coming back to chair pose one more time, working those legs a little bit more. And exhale. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, step it up to plank. And hold your high plank, really finding that connection through the core, that strength through the upper back muscles. And can you pull your belly in even more so that your belly muscles are actually aching from the effort? Knees chest chin or chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And we're taking mother child's pose here. Resting hips to the heels. And then we'll move to down facing dog. Now we'll lift the left leg up this time. Get into that hip stretch. Really pressing the right heel into the floor. Really floating the left knee high. And finding the breath. And then looking forward to going to step left foot to warrior one. Spinning the back heel down and floating the arms up. And getting straight to that level where you feel the challenge both in the front quadricep and through the hips. So immediately dropping into your deepest pose, option for the drishti, and then find the breath. And then we'll just open it to warrior two. So adjusting your back, maybe lengthening your stance. And then really work on squeezing open the left knee so that you're feeling the stretch here. Pressing that left knee open, finding the inner thigh, and then really feel open the back hip as well so that you're spreading through the front of the hip. Reaching the fingers out, push deep forwards, finding the breath. You go a little lower, and really make that front foot step down. Let's have a quick break as we straighten out the leg. Running your left hand down your leg, right arm up overhead, finding Trikonasana, a nice long line, fingertip to fingertip. Keep your connection to the outside edge of your back foot and your back heel. The foundation of the pose, it's easy to lose that grounding, feel like the weight's coming into the front leg. Shouldn't be. Just breathing into that pose. And then circling the top arm down, and we turn the shoulders and the hips so that requires a step in with the back foot and the back foot turning forwards, the back toes turning forwards. So now you're facing the front, not the side. And then you can find that lift and lengthen, either hands on the block, chin, or possibly on the floor if you've got long arms like me. And then a slow fold forwards, taking the chest onto the thigh, the head towards the knee. And then a few really good deep breaths here, just encouraging the stretch into that leg. And then we're going to lift straight to our standing split. So if you need to hop the back foot in first, then do so. Otherwise, hand step forwards and you immediately lift the back leg. And really pointing out through the back toe, trying to get that back leg lifted as high as you can. The lift comes from the hip and the glutes. So engaging those muscles to try and shoot the leg higher. And then hands either on the block or on your leg or on the floor, head to knee. Find that lift a little bit more and breathe. And then slowly square back the hips, flex the back foot, and see if you can float up to warrior three. May take a little bit of falling over to get there. And if it does, you can come to warrior three from standing rather than from the floor. And then take your arm position, find your balance, find your breath. And then slowly coming up to Pitta Hasta, either holding the knee or the big toe, possibly extending out. Again, fixing the gaze to help you with your balance, using your core. Switch hands and add the twist. More breaths. And slowly release. And shake everything out. Work. Have a drink if you need one. At the end of our standing poses, we'll head down, a little bit of strength work, and then some flexibility work. Reset your breath for a moment. Let's slow down. Inhaling, the arms lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop to plank. Let's just hold plank for a moment. Nice, strong high plank, core engaged. Upper back, lifting. Take 3 rounds of back as starter, each one getting progressively harder. So dropping your left knee or right knee, I don't know which way you go. I'm doing this way so you don't have to go back. First one. You're going to lift up the opposite arm and just find that side plank. So really lifting out of your lower shoulder, not collapsing there. Really lifting out through your lower hip and waist. So moving away from the floor as much as you can through the side body. And then just finding that breath, with everything engaged. Everything's in. And then we're going to come to 4-point kneeling. We're going to extend the opposite arm and leg reaching away. And then exhale, try and touch your elbow to your knee. Inhale, reach it back out. And release. Let's do the other side. Stretch it out. Touch elbow to knee. And as you do so, really pull up through your core. Stretch it back out. And release. Let's take modified side plank on the other side. Again, we're lifting out through the lower side body, lifting up through that shoulder, and no collapsing through the waist and hip. Finding the breath. coming back to full-point kneeling. Once more on each side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck as you touch elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, release. The other side. Inhale. Exhale, already around the back. Touch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. And take your child's pose and reset your breathing. Good, second round, back to start. You're one foot in front of the other, or you can repeat the first round, of course, at this time. Taking a level B. Really trying to get both legs straight, lifting up and out of the side body on the lower side. No collapsing in the shoulder. One more breath. And then coming to either full-point kneeling, or you can platform plank this time. Stand opposite arm and leg away, crunch elbow to knee, extend and lift, release, step inside. Lift, crunch, lift, release. Step inside, feet stacked, one in front of the other, or into floor again. Lifting out of your side body, core engaged. One more breath. And then coming to plank or full-point kneeling. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Other side. In. X. In. Release into child's pose. And final breath. Final time. So option A or B or C, stacking one foot on top of the other. Couple of breaths here in your side plank. Really finding straight through the side body again. And then just come straight to the other side. And then one more round of awkward plank or full-point kneeling as you lift up the arm and leg. And touch, and extend, and switch. Good. Release, take child's pose, and breathe. Good. Tucking the toes, moving into downward facing dog. Either just walk out the dog or pulse the heels up and down just to get the movement through the leg and the blood flow turning there. And then we're going to lift the right leg up into single-legged dog. And either staying here or bringing your right knee to your right elbow. Just pausing there, working your feet. And then just lightly stepping the right foot outside the right hand, either from there or from single dog, wherever you were at. And we'll come down to our lizard lunge. Looking to the elbows. Let's keep the back knee lifted for the first variation. So back knee lifting as straight as possible, pressing out through the back heel. Try to sink your hips down. Let your weight into your hands or elbows. Allow the right knee to fall open, because there shouldn't be much weight in the front foot. And then just experience that stretch through the hip. And then we'll drop the back knee and come down even deeper. You can start to bring the right knee back in towards your shoulder. See if you can actually connect your right knee to your shoulder. So moving towards this Metastrata, I know we've done this before. It is a challenging arm balance, but there are layers to it. So hopefully you can find one of the layers Coming back to the hands, you're going to take the right hand behind the heel, and you're trying to work your shoulder underneath your knee. So that may be where your work is just trying to, I tend to roll the calf muscle towards my face, and then just try and get my shoulder under the knee there. So maybe you're just working on that, trying to get shoulder and knee to connect. If you've got that connection, tuck your back toes and lift your back knee, and maybe you can lift the front foot just by pressing the mat away. Maybe that's enough for you. Of course, the next level is to straighten out your front leg, bend your elbows, and pick up your back leg too. Take a couple of breaths wherever you are. And then just see if you can float the front foot back to plank and find that high plank moment. And then we'll drop the knees and we'll take a threaded child, taking the right arm under and stretching out the shoulder. Moving back to downward facing dog. Let's take that left leg up into single-legged dog. Pressing down through the right heel. And then either stay here or bring your left knee to your left tricep and working the oblique strongly, keeping the knee as high as you can. And then either from that position or from your single dog, step the left foot to land lightly outside the left hand. Keep your back knee lifted for your first variation of lizard lunge with gecko pose as you come down to the elbows. And then if your weight's in your arms, you can just allow the left knee to open to the side a little and get deep into the hip. And then dropping the back knee and beginning to snuggle the left knee back in towards the shoulder. Then we'll come back to the hands and walk the left hand behind the heel and begin to work the left shoulder under the knee. Trying to find that connection, placing the hands back down. If you've got that, tucking the back toes, maybe lifting the front foot, maybe extending the front leg out, and then beginning to bend the elbows, lifting the back leg too. And then maybe you can just float that front leg out. Knees chest chin or chaturanga. Up-legged cobra. And we'll move into threaded child on the left hand side. And then just coming up to sitting on your heels. We'll take the tops of the hands down. We'll just give those wrists a stretch. Always give up an arm balance. There's been quite a lot of weight in the wrist. Tops of the hands to the floor, all the way to the wrist. Try to just turn the elbow crease forwards and lean back until you get that little stretch. And then we're going to take camel this evening. So coming to high kneeling, we'll start with our half camels. If you've got tightness in the back, it's a really good idea to put your toes and get the heels up a bit higher. Otherwise, you're flat. So we're going to inhale, the right arm lifts up. We're going to rotate and just catch your right heel with your right fingertips. As I always say in camel, it's tempting to think of yourself going backwards in this direction, but actually you want to think of pushing the hips forward and lifting the chest up. So I'm thinking this sort of movement, I'm not thinking that way. So I'm thinking forwards and up. And so I'm not collapsing back to reach my heel, I'm lifting up and over to try and get to my heel. And that's a very different sort of stretch, because instead of feeling a shortening in the lower back, I'm feeling a lift through the thoracic. Take a breath there. And lift up and out from the heart space, not crunching from the lower back to get out of it. Left arm lifts up, so again you get the lift from the hips and from the breastbone. And then you get the pivots, and you're reaching for the left heel, but you're continuing to press the hips forward and to lift the breastbone up. I like to lift the opposite arm to remind me to think upwards rather than backwards. Take a couple of breaths there. And then lift up onto the stage. And we'll come back to you, child, to stretch out that spine. So we're coming back to camel, taking it a little bit deeper now if you wish. Options catch both heels at the same time. So starting again, heels can be lifted, toes tucked if you want that extra height. Inhaling, reaching the right arm around for the heel, keep pushing the hips forwards, lifting the heart. Option to take the left arm back to, once you've got both heels, come back to pressing the hips forwards, lifting the heart. And you can slowly start to look up and maybe even back if it feels comfortable on your neck to do so. Keep pushing forwards and up, lifting through the heart. 3 breaths here. And then coming up to come out of it and taking your child's pose. Coming back to 4-point kneeling, we've got one more round of those extensions to go. So extending arm and leg away, and then crunching elbow to knee, round in the back, and then extending back out and releasing down on the side. Then crunch, extend, and collect. And now tucking your toes under. Just lift your knees a couple of inches off the mat and come to peace pose. Covering the knees, otherwise in 4-point kneeling. Try to find a steady breath and do it strong work. And then step the feet back to plank. And then step them back to peace pose. Step them back to plank, leading with the opposite foot. And then back to peace. If you can, take 2 more. Sending out. Coming back in, switching sides, bending out, coming back in, and then coming to the way to child once again. Really good exercise that. You can feel the strength both in the shoulders but also in the core. We've got really a lot of work going on through all the core muscles. So either come up to sitting and then lie yourself down, or tuck the toes, stand dog, jump to sitting, and lie down. Hugging the knees into the chest, rocking, and then we'll come side to side, releasing out the lower back. We're going to start with Supta Padangusthasana. So we're going to straighten out the left leg onto the floor and extend the right leg up. Now you can keep your left leg bent and the knee flat to the floor, or you can straighten the leg out. That's a much deeper hamstring stretch. So depending on how your hamstrings feel, catching a hold of your right leg with both hands, and catch towards the foot as much as you can, but get the right knee straight. And then just be quite passive here. Just relax into the back of the right leg. Find your rhythmic breath. Get to the edge and then stay there so that you increase that flexibility in the hamstring. Don't let the left foot become all floppy and passive. Try and keep some strength and energy through the left leg. And then we're going to take the right leg out to the right. Now you can either do this by catching the toe and lowering it to the right side floor, or more likely, because you have to do a lot of flexibility for that, you might just want to catch the knee, hold the knee, and drop it out. Now, what we don't want to happen is the left hip to lift up from the floor too much. So try and ground down through the left side body. You can extend the left arm away to help you. And then try and squeeze the left buttock and shoulder back towards the floor and find your breath. And then we'll bring the leg back up and we'll catch the shin or calf in both hands. Pull your belly button towards your spine and start to lift. Now I'm not taking my forehead to my knee, I'm taking my chest to my thigh. So it's important that you keep your head back. You're not curving your head forward. You are trying to touch your chest onto your thigh. So really using your belly to lift you up high and then slowly coming down. And we'll have both knees in. And then either place the right foot on the floor or extending the right leg out straight, and we'll lift the left leg up. Catching the left leg in both hands or the foot. Finding straightness through the left leg. Also keeping your right foot a little energetic, not too active there. And then either catching the big toe on the left side and slowly opening out to the left, or you can catch the left knee and just block it open to the side. And then using your core strength to bring it all the way back up again. And then catching the left foot in both the calf in both hands, engage through the belly muscles, and then lift up, but try and get your chest onto your thigh, not your head towards your knees so much. Lifting through the chest, finding the breath, strong pose, and slowly lower down. Keep the leg lifted up, and then bring the right leg up to join it. So both legs lifting to the ceiling now. Take the arms wide to the thighs. We're going to do hip lift. So you're going to lift the hips off the floor and then place them back down. Now you're not thinking legs overhead towards the plow. You're thinking heels straight up towards the sky, like you're trying to put your footprints on the ceiling. So this will feel harder because you really feel that you've got your lower abdominals working hard here. So let's take a few more of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then finally, we're going to take the leg lowers. So you can either drop one leg at a time, hover the heel, or slightly lightly tap the heel, or you can take both together. We're going to go for 10, And up. Keep your lower back pressing into the floor. 9. And up. And 8. And up. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And release down. Good. Stretch the arms and legs away from each other to open out that abdominal area as much as possible. Good. And then we'll counter that work with back bends to open even more into the abs. So bringing the hands by the sides and pressing up into bridge pose. Make sure your heels are close to your hips and hips width apart. Press the hips up high. Slowly coming down, just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then let's lift back up to bridge. Option to turn it into wheel. Just by bringing the hands by the sides of the ears and lifting up. Hold breath. And then slowly pulling down. And taking the soles of the feet together, bring the heels really close in towards the pelvis. And then press down on your inner thighs. And also roll your inner thighs back towards you, towards your face. And get a bit of a glory opener here. Close the eyes and just take the focus to the breath. And release. Put the hands outside the knees, gently bring them back in together. And we'll finish with the glute stretch that we do in our warm-up, but you can take it a little bit deeper now at the end of class. Crossing your right ankle over your left knee and pulling your left knee into your chest. See if you can really squeeze your right leg away from you as you pull the left knee in. If you want to go deeper, I like to wrap my inner elbow around my foot and the other inner elbow around my knee, and then pull them in towards my chest. You want to pull them in equally, so the foot and the knee coming in equally with both elbows. Another option is to straighten the left leg and to pull the left leg in towards you with a straight leg, finding your breath here. Just working to whichever is deepest for you. Bringing your attention to your breathing. And slowly release. Good, let's change sides. Working through the left hip and buttock now. You can take your arms, wrap your arms around your leg, or you can straighten your right leg and just pull the right knee towards you. Make sure your left knee is turning away from you. And then slowly release. We'll finish with a twist. So either taking both legs or stroking one leg first, and taking one or both knees across, turning out through the opposite arm. Just close the eyes, steady the breath. Feel like a deep stretch through the whole of the spine. And then switching sides. And then slowly making your way to Shavasana. And as always, maintaining your Shavasana for 5 minutes if possible. We'll be playing some nice music or finding yourself the meditation to follow. Thank you very much. Namaste. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.